Town of Ravenel public hearing Tuesday, September 30, 2025 is hereby called to order. Roll call, Ms. Wood.
Ms. Brown is not here yet. Mr. Cochran?
Here.
Mr. Rogers?
Here.
Ms. Singleton?
Here.
Mr. Waters?
Here.
Mayor?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Very good. This is we've got two public hearings tonight. I want to start with the 2025 municipal budget. Anyone have any public comments regarding the 2025 municipal budget? That's not why y'all are here? Okay. So we have no comments on the municipal budget. Before I go into the Lucas Tract Agreement public hearing, just some housekeeping things I want to make a few comments on. We got some letters involved that were submitted, some questions that asked, and just for some clarification, just a couple things. The development agreement versus a plan development. We had a question that was asked, well, how come you having two public hearings for the development agreement and only one for the plan development? That's because that's what state code requires. So we are required to have one public hearing for a plan development, two for the development agreement. We were also asked about the comments that were made at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting and why they were not included in the packet for council. We have not done that, and we do not do that. They are a part of the record, they are a part of the minutes, and council's obviously able to see those readily if they wish to view those comments. The other thing I guess that we need to discuss just for clarification is we do have an ordinance that addresses the timeline that if a zoning request is turned down, there's a 12-month waiting period before it can be resubmitted. We have always taken the approach and viewed that ordinance as if the same request is being submitted, then it has to wait. If it is a different request, then it does not. This one is close to being 12 months within a month or so, but it is a different request with different asks and different outcomes. So we felt that it was appropriate to go forward with this at this time. So with those comments made, we open it up for public comments. And Ms. Michaela, if you'll read, when you come up, you get 3 minutes to make your comments. The other thing, there was a question asked about what's the difference between the plan development and the development agreement. Let me speak to that real quickly. So the plan development tells us what they can do, the boundaries, the slot sizes, those kind of things. The development agreement is the contract with the town that enforces the plan development. That's the contractual side of it that makes them do what they say they're going to do. Okay, Michaela? Please state your name and address.
Sure. Good evening, y'all. My name is Anna Kimmelblatt, and I serve as the Communities and Transportation Program Director for the Coastal Conservation League, located at 131 Spring Street. The Conservation League maintains serious concerns about this proposed development agreement. The majority of this property is undevelopable, consisting of low-lying wetlands and tributaries to the Stono River. Building commercial space and 70 single-family residences on septic on the limited upland acreage will have adverse effects on the natural resources of the surrounding area. Given the project's close proximity to large tracts of protected land and pristine natural resources, its proposed inclusion of high-density septic systems, and its contradiction to the goals in the comprehensive plan, we urge the council to deny this request. One of the town's land use goals in the comprehensive plan is to reduce the impact developments have on the local character and environment. Within that goal, objectives include limiting the use of on-site septic systems by concentrating development toward areas served by public sewer, and evaluating incentives to reduce urban sprawl. This project, which allows for sprawling mixed-use development on septic next to and across from protected lands, is in direct contradiction to these goals outlined in the comprehensive plan. Furthermore, the town's comprehensive plan recognizes the importance of buffering Dungannon Heritage Preserve's northern boundary from this development. To quote the comprehensive plan, maintaining Ravenel's rural character and landscape, particularly near the preserve, is vital for sustaining this critically important wildlife habitat. Introducing 70 septic tanks into this adjacent low-lying wetland habitat is again in direct contradiction to the statements made in the comprehensive plan. Ravenel and its residents worked very hard during the recent comprehensive plan update process to lay out the vision they wish to see for their community. The town has identified the maintenance of rural character and protection of its natural resources as critically important initiatives for its future. The community has voiced its opposition to this rezoning and development agreement. Simply put, this project is not compatible with the surrounding area, and it puts Ravenel's natural resources in extreme jeopardy. PUDs and development agreements are supposed to be used when flexible zoning is required to allow for a project that provides a widespread public benefit. But there is no discernible benefit here, only the destruction of natural resources that the public has desperately called for the town to protect. Given the widespread community opposition and the contradiction to the town's comprehensive plan, it is unclear how staff is recommending approval for this agreement, given that there is no public benefit to be gained from the town entering into this contract. In order to support the community's vision for a rural town where wildlife thrives and water is clean, we urge the council to deny this set of applications. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you for your comments.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. I'm Michael Scarborough, and I come before you tonight on behalf of the owner of the tract, which seeks approval of this future neighborhood here in Ravenel. First, a short history of the property. Dungannon was purchased by my grandfather, W. Hanahan, in 1951. It consists of 3,000 acres of land and has largely been used for recreational hunting purposes. In 1974, as part of his estate plans, he subdivided the property among his 5 children. The adjacent tracts along Highway 17 were given to 4 of the children. My uncle Peter Hanahan was excluded from that tract and instead received this particular tract of land, which is before you tonight. Peter owned the property exclusively since 1974. It was his home from 2006 until his death last year. Prior to that, he asked me to help him sell the property. We've had 3 different contracts come to purchase this property, with the number of units being reduced each time from well over 100 down to 70 in this proposal. In addition, this plan provides that the owner and developer will contribute over 1.5 acres of land for the town's use and pay $2,000 per unit towards the Affordable Housing Initiative. 2,000 times 70 is $140,000. Next, I'd like to try to clarify some of the miscommunication you're likely to hear tonight. While objections have come from family members who oppose the change, none of them have any legal interest in this property. They have it in the property adjacent to it. So in order to provide them with a buffer, which would be also a further buffer from the Dungannon Heritage Preserve, I've made plans to partition off a part of the 450-acre tract next door. The other objections you'll hear is from the Low Country Land Trust, who seeks to stop this development so they can control the property. 2 years ago, the Land Trust sought to buy that 450 acre next door. They were so concerned with the wetlands that their offer gave no value to the wetlands on the property. Tonight you'll hear how important those wetlands is and how valuable it is. But when their offer came in, they said, usable acres is all we're going to pay for. I heard complaints from adjoining neighbors at the planning and zoning meeting who incredibly live on property that Peter Hanahan owned and developed into lots along Dungannon Plantation Way on T Farm Creek. The other objection came from folks concerned about the wood storks, which nest at the Dungannon Heritage Preserve. That property originally belonged to my aunt, Dee Dee Hanahan. Her 600 acres was sold to the state. In addition, my mother sold another 100 acres to the state. So there's 700 acres of land for the wood storks. So in conclusion, we have a proposal for 70 houses on land where density is less than 1 unit an acre. You've got $140,000 cash to be paid towards the Affordable Housing Program and 1.5 acres of land for future purposes. So this ask that you approve the agreement. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mrs. Kelly Cooper. Russell Borman. Eugene Santos.
Oh, that was an error.
Ann Shahid.
Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Ann Shahid, excuse me, and I live at 5213 Timber Race Course, Hollywood. The woman from the Coastal Conservation League said most of everything that I want to say, but I do want to address the wood storks at Dungannon. I retired from the National Audubon Society in Audubon, South Carolina, and while I worked for Audubon, South Carolina, we declared Dungannon an internationally important bird area. And what that means is that it supports the life of certain birds during the year of their life. As it turns out, wood storks are very particular about the places that they choose to build their nest and raise their young. And there are very few places like that in this whole low country. That's why they are on the threatened list, just below what endangered would be. They are very finicky about noises, so even with a buffer, any construction would probably scare them off, and there would be no place for them to nest. I don't know if any of you've ever been and walked through Dungannon, and it's a beautiful piece of property, just like so much else is in this area. But since the wood storks can't speak for themselves, I'm speaking for them, and it would be a travesty to lose them and have them to be endangered, on the endangered list again, because they do provide a lot for this area. And thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tom Hutto.
Good evening, Council. My name is Tom Hutto. I reside on Hagan Road in Meggett. I request that this development agreement and the associated rezoning be rejected, as wisely recommended by your own Planning Commission. And that's for the following reasons. First, I don't believe more density is in the interest of Ravenel's existing residents who live here or those in surrounding communities. Ravenel has no town taxes that I'm aware of, so there will be no significant increase in revenue. $140,000 may pay for, what, less than half of affordable house? But there will be an increase in required town services, as we're witnessing here tonight. Lots and lots of, within the development agreement enforcement, there'll be lots of town services. There will be more traffic. Does anyone want that? And there will be more pollution to our rivers and wetlands. Recognizing that, a major subdivision on about 45 Highland acres, there may be a lot more land out there, but it's about 45 Highland acres, with around 70 houses on septic systems, will inevitably lead to pollution of Ravenel's wetlands and creeks. This will not happen right away, but long after the developer is gone. Ultimately, this could cost millions to fix, but who will pay for it? Even not the developer, it will become the town's problem one way or another. Even with development agreements, who will enforce them? What if the landowners can't or will not pay once their septic tanks are broken and leaking, which I live in the country, I've had to replace my lines. We all know how that works. You will know that there is a problem when there is fecal coliform in the creeks, and that's pretty yucky. These issues have happened time and time again. Ellis Creek on James Island, where people I know are afraid to swim due to the fecal coliform. They live next to the creek, won't swim there. I grew up on James Island. I'm familiar with that problem as well. Petersfield community, it costs millions and millions to resolve. And I could go on about the problems. So recognizing these sorts of issues, Dorchester County passed an ordinance requiring major subdivisions, which are over 10 lots, that are on septic systems to have a minimum lot size of 5 acres. Seeing the wisdom in this, the town of Meggett passed a similar ordinance recently. These government groups, made up of folks like yourselves, want to prevent future problems and make sure their citizens can enjoy our beautiful rural areas, consistent with your comprehensive plan. This developer could do the same. For these reasons, I respectfully request that you abide by your Planning Commission's recommendations and reject this particular plan. From this plan, the developer will make substantial monies. And all the town of Ravenel will get is a pittance of funds for affordable housing, more traffic, more headaches, and more feces. Let the developer propose a plan that is more consistent with development in a rural area and honors the existing residents and the rivers and creeks we all hold dear. Alternatively, the town could seek to purchase the property with county greenbelt funds, which is what the towns of Hollywood, Meggett, Allendale, Astor Beach, and many others have done. That would be a real benefit to Ravenel citizens.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Dutto.
so much.
Mike Anderson.
Mike Anderson, 5840 Highway 165. I'm here tonight to oppose this development. There's nothing about it that really fits the town of Ravenel. We have had too many of these pass through. I was at the zoning request meeting the other night. Every citizen there spoke out against this development. So I guess the question for y'all is, do y'all back the citizens or do y'all back the developer? It's pretty much that simple. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last is Kelly Cooper.
Hello, everyone. I am Kelly Cooper. I own 6049 Drayton Street and 5577 Highway 165. I also would like to echo the others, or the majority of the others, in requesting a denial on this and the planning committee. I think we all heard why. There's not really a whole lot more for me to say. More septic tanks, more feces, no benefit. It was an acre they were gonna give the town to use, a little over an acre. That doesn't sound like a whole lot. Half of an affordable housing unit. And no other benefit for the rest of the community. Now, if either we're gonna take half of that and build a bunch of playgrounds, I'd probably be up here going, yes! 3 small children waiting on me at home, okay? So, I'm opposed. I just wanted to come on record. I am not a very good speaker. I think that the conservation lady said enough. She made the points clear, and so I'm just here to speak on behalf of the citizens to say, please, no. Thank you.
Thank you. That it? Okay.
Where was the sign up this week? I didn't see it outside. All I saw was a blank. Didn't have the items listed or anything like that, like last time.
I signed up this week. There were 3 sheets that were out there.
What's your name?
Ravenel.
You didn't jump this week?
I thought I checked this week.
Ms. Neal, you can speak. Come on.
Thank you for your information. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Barbara Neal. I'm a lifelong resident of Charleston County and have been living in a nearby community for the past 30 years. I expect that folks in our community show each other respect, whether they're from here, come here, to work or to live or to play. When I reviewed the development agreement for this proposed project, what I saw was 5-foot side setbacks. That may be appropriate for Charlotte or New York City, but not for a rural community like Ravenel. No respect. When I looked at the stormwater description of what they were gonna be doing, they're discharging stormwater runoff from the development community directly to freshwater and salt wetlands. No pre-treatment, no respect. And finally, what I saw was, again, adjacent to those resources, no buffers, no permanent buffers. I believe that the state may be requiring some through their stormwater program. We'll have to wait and see. But again, no buffers, no respect. Thank you.
What was your address?
Hagan Road, Meggett.
Thank you.
I don't know if I'm allowed a chance to speak or not. I did look to sign up. I just wanted.
Is there anybody else that wasn't able to figure out the sign-up process? Okay, come on.
I'll be brief.
That's fine.
My name is Bill Hanahan. I live at 522 West Wimbledon Drive, Charleston. I represent a majority of the landowners of the immediately adjacent property. We're opposed to this. We've been to all the meetings. We've spoken against it. We've given you our reasons. I would just like to note for the record the procedural
posture of this proposal, the zoning board, which I came to, I think it was September the 4th, voted unanimously by 3-to-1 vote to recommend denial of both of these requests. And I would urge you to be consistent with their recommendation and deny this process. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Do we have a list of how many letters we got? That's 5. Okay. And let the record show for the public hearing that we did receive 5 written communications in opposition to. Okay. No further comments. Public hearing is closed. Town of Ravenel regular town council meeting Tuesday, September 30, 2025 is called to order. Roll call, Ms. Wood.
Ms. Brown? Mr. Cochran? Mr. Rogers?
Here.
Ms. Singleton? Here. Mr. Waters?
Here.
Mayor?
Here.
Quorum.
Please stand and join me for the invocation and pledge. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I got a few comments to open up the meeting tonight, probably more than I normally do. I want to start with bringing everyone up to date on the property that we have purchased on Martin Street, where it meets E.B. Ellington School Road and runs through the freshwater wetlands and goes over to, backs up to Palmetto Terrace. Next screen. That's a rendering of the property. On the right of that screen in the dark green is about 5.6 acres of highland. That backs up to Palmetto Terrace, our neighborhood over on the Savannah Highway side of town. That darker brown color is all freshwater wetlands with cypress trees and so forth. And then the 11 acres to the left that shows 23 homes on it. And that's not what it's going to look like. That was just a sketch. We've got grand live oak trees on that property. It's a beautiful piece of property. So it's going to be developed into a very nice, affordable housing community. Okay, you can go to the next screen. There it is in relation to the rest of town. It's right there where Martin Street branches out and goes into the Miley Hill community, right alongside the railroad track. The land acquisition details, the purchase price of that property was $675,000. I entered into a contract after polling council to see the appetite for doing this project, and conferred with our town attorney and entered into an agreement that was contingent upon council's approval. We received that approval through a resolution on July 29, and we closed this property the end of last week. And there's the resolution showing where we've, council agreed to purchase this property. The really interesting part about this is we've been able to parlay 3 different pots of money to basically pay for this thing in full. The top 2 still have to be approved by full council, but I attended the Greenbelt, actually let me start with the first one. $250,000 is an affordable program that the county administers, and that's been recommended for approval at last week's finance committee that I attended. The $225,000 is an award that's been recommended to the full board for approval for the park and the protected wetlands. And then the $200,000 will be the Affordable Housing Initiative coming from the Tumbleston Family Trust. So we're taking county funds and town funds in the $200,000 that's going to go into town and basically paying for this whole project. Overview is 35 acres. It's going to be 18 acres of freshwater wetlands preserved. You can read all that. It's very it's a great park. We're going to have to find more funding, but the thought is to connect the two highland parts and the two neighborhoods with a boardwalk through the swamp, so we can do bird watching and everything else that goes along with that. And I've got a letter. Did we put this at the council's desk?
Yes.
So we'll post it on the website as well. But it was an article that was written that applauded this group for the efforts of making this happen, and I think it's important. A couple other things I want to make you aware of. We've got a breast cancer walkathon this Saturday that we are sponsoring in conjunction with the ladies from the St. Paul Church off of Cadden Road. So please look into that and come out and walk with the folks if you can. We have a Ellington community gathering that we're all working on with Councilmember Brown. That's going to be the 18th of October. It's kind of a transition from the old school to our new municipal complex down at the old E.V. Ellington School. So more to come on that. We're working feverishly to get that done. There was a recommendation, some discussion at the Planning and Zoning, last Planning and Zoning Commission meeting that I felt like I needed to address tonight, and it was some talk about asking us to go into another moratorium for subdivisions. And it was basically, the premise was we need to relook our zoning districts. And I'm not in disagreement, because we're going to hear one tonight that is a good example of why we need to look at it. We don't have half-acre lots now. We have 30,000 square foot lots, but it really doesn't make sense that we don't have half-acre lots. So I'm going to ask the Planning and Zoning Commissioner to make some recommendations back to us without going into a moratorium, because I think it's a bit of an overreach for us to do that just to make some adjustments on square footage of lot sizes. So just want to let you know that's coming up. With that said, I will move on to the agenda. Approval of agenda. Do we have any recusals or conflicts of interest tonight? Okay, no recusals or conflicts of interest. Prior meeting minutes. Town Council Budget Workshop, August 14th, 2025. What's council's pleasure regarding the minutes?
I so move you approve the minutes of the budget workshop 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Can I get a second?
Cora Singleton is the second.
Thank you, Ms. Cora. Any further discussion? No further discussion. We'll call for a vote.
Ms. Brown?
Yay.
Mr. Cochran?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Singleton?
Aye.
Mr. Waters?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye. Thank you. Moving on, regular town council meeting, August 26th, 2025. Can I get a motion to approve?
So move that we approve the August 26th meeting, or regular town meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Get a second?
A second.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Any further discussion? No further discussion. We'll call for a vote.
Ms. Brown? Mr. Cochran?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Singleton?
Aye.
Mr. Waters? Mayor?
Aye. Thank you very much. Moving on to reports from staff and officers. The town attorney.
No report from the town attorney.
Very good. Charleston County Sheriff's Office.
Yes. All right,
Lieutenant Wade.
How you doing, sir?
Very good.
Thank you. Deputy's been busy this month. We've had multiple traffic stops over the month involving small amounts of drugs and DUIs. We have 3 DUI arrests this month in town. Mostly were people passing through or 2 wrecks that were involved in the DUI arrest. We did locate multiple, 1 subjects in town, mostly from family court. Had a couple general assessor's arrest warrants. 1 gentleman had 9 bench warrants he didn't show up for, Mr. Altman. So he'll be in jail for the foreseeable future with his warrants. We did find a gentleman trying to walk out of O'Reilly's with multiple batteries, and he was placed under arrest. did locate, multiple stolen vehicles. CPD had a vehicle coming through town. We even had one out of Bradford, PD, Virginia, off the camera, so they were working, caught a vehicle, lady was driving, she thought she could go down to Florida, I guess. Also, we're looking for a yellow bike cruiser was stolen at the Blue Water, and somebody stole, 16 cartons of cigarettes out of the Dollar General from the night. So somebody selling cigarettes, mostly Newport menthols.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Clerk-Treasurer report?
I don't have anything additional to add. The financials were included in your packet. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, ma'am. Planning and Zoning Director?
As you heard, we had a planning and zoning meeting last month where pretty much everything was either tied or voted down. So not much going on there. And we will be having a planning and zoning meeting later this week, Thursday. And there is going to be a Board of Zoning Appeals meeting next month, not this month.
Thank you, Eric. Town Code Enforcement Officer, Mr. Bacon?
Yes, Mayor, Council. So as most of you are aware, my role as code enforcement has shifted some. I wasn't here last month for the meeting because I was in Columbia taking a class. I've been focusing more on the construction side of things, residential and commercial, with Mr. Mayor and Mr. Harrod, as far as tightening up some stuff, making sure everything is a little more agreeable before certificate of occupancies are issued and so on. So that's what I've been doing.
Thank you, sir. Facilities and Maintenance Manager, Mr. Moffitt.
Yes, sir.
Didn't see you back there.
Yes, sir. Nothing to add other than what's already in the report, sir.
Thank you for getting that debris cleaned up along the railroad track. They came and cut it and wanted to leave it.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. All right, moving on to reports of commissions, boards and committees. Sewer Advisory Board, we have no reports. Planning and Zoning Commission, recent meeting September 4, 2025. As Mr. Harrod alluded to, there was that was to allow manufactured homes on all residential lots. There was no recommendation, tie vote. Request map amendment 2025-03 on Drayton Street and R1 to R3. Again, no recommendation, a tie vote. Map amendment 2025-04, which was AR to plan development. It was recommended for denial 3-1. And then a request to enter into the development agreement, which was recommended for denial 3-1 vote. We got an upcoming meeting on October 2nd, and then the Board of Zoning Appeals. You say there is a Board of Zoning Appeals meeting?
Not this month, but
In November, okay. Very good, thank you. Okay, moving along to old business. Second reading of ordinance 04-25, amending the business license ordinance to update the class schedule as required by Act 176 of 2020. Ms. Wood, give us a quick update to remind us of that, because it seems like it was 2 months ago that we talked about this.
It does. We had the first reading last month, and basically, from time to time, the IRS determines a company's NAICS code based on their profitability. And depending on that code, sometimes it will actually put them in a different class, which the class actually determines the rate for their business license. And so every 2 years, this is updated, and we must pass by ordinance a new class schedule based on that information. It does not change our business license rates at all. It only changes the class schedule. So this would be the second reading of that ordinance.
Very good. So, can I get a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 04-25, amending the business license ordinance to an update?
I move that we accept the reading of the second reading for the request for the business license 0025.
Thank you, Ms. Singleton. Get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Any further discussion? No further discussion, call for a vote.
Ms. Brown? Mr. Cochran?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Singleton? Mr. Waters? Mayor?
Aye.
That passes.
Thank you very much. I'll take the second one, which is the second reading of ordinance 05-25. This is the rezoning from AR to GB for 5600 Ellington School Road. This is our property that we're going to begin working on for our new municipal complex, which fits in the GB zoning. It does not fit. All those years it's been in AR and it was never changed. So this is just a second reading of that. So can I get a motion to approve ordinance 05-25?
I so move that we approve ordinance 05-25.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Call for a vote.
Ms. Brown? Mr. Cochran?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Singleton? Mr. Waters?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
That passes.
Okay, this is a housekeeping issue, so I'll explain this to you. A motion to remove special event permit request from the table. This is one we tabled months ago. The date has passed. The applicant never showed up. But I make a motion that we remove special event permit request from Darnell Gaston from the table. Can I get a second?
Second, I course.
Thank you. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Call for a vote.
Ms. Brown? Mr. Cochran?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Singleton? Mr. Waters?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Passes.
All right, moving into new business, special event permit request, Darnell Gadsden, 5806 New Road, TMS number 168000006. Can I get a motion to deny that request?
I'll make the motion we deny that request.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Waters. Any further discussion on this? No further discussion, we'll call for a vote.
Ms. Brown? Mr. Cochran?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Singleton? Mr. Waters? Mayor?
Aye. Thank you. That was just the housekeeping. First reading of ordinance 07-25, the adoption of the 2025 budget. It's council's pleasure.
I so move that we adopt the 2025 budget for
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Can I get a second?
2026.
26.
I'm sorry, 26.
Can I get a second?
I course Singleton second.
Thank you, Ms. Singleton. Any further discussion?
The one thing I had asked about was the potential stipend for the boards. A potential stipend for the boards. Did that come back up?
The stipend for the board,
Oh.
board members, I mean, that would probably be included in payroll.
It's included in payroll. We certainly have
So
money in it
if-
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I couldn't clearly
Yeah,
hear you.
It's okay.
Thank you for your courtesy.
Thank you.
No further discussion, we'll call for a vote.
Ms. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Cochran?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Singleton?
Aye.
Mr. Waters?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Passes first reading.
First reading of ordinance 08-25, a text amendment 2025-01, request to allow manufactured homes on AR zone properties as a allowed conditional use. Let me set this up before I ask for a vote. So this is the one that was on all residential properties, and we got, that's the way it was presented to planning and zoning. And it did not receive a recommendation one way or the other. I think we probably failed the Planning and Zoning Commission by trying to overreach that. What we've been seeing in the office is an overabundance of folks trying to put mobile homes on AR zone lots. And in an AR zone lot, which is 1 acre or larger, it is a special exception, which means it has to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals, and they always get approved. So I suggested we come before council with an amended ordinance that states that it's allowed in AR zone lots as a conditional use, just like it is everywhere else. So, and the ordinance is, has been rewritten to reflect that. You will get a copy of that.
Mayor.
Yes, ma'am. Well, let's get a motion before we discuss.
Okay.
So can I get a motion to approve 0825 to allow manufactured homes on AR zone properties as an allowed conditional use?
I so move. Sorry. Allow the manufactured mobile home on ER property.
Very good. Can I get a second?
A second.
Okay. Discussion?
Yes. So, with this amendment, what if a person has a 3/4 acre? Would that be allowed in its zone already residential?
It depends on what it is zoned. It can be 3/4 of an acre and be zoned AR. It'd be non-conforming, or it could be 3/4 of an acre and be zoned R3, which it is, this would make mobile homes allowed as a conditional use. And Eric, you can speak to those conditions for me. They're not much.
No, the condition is basically a site plan to make sure we know it's gonna fit on the lot, is what we're concerned about. And with R3 lots, that can be an issue because they're smaller lots. But with AR lots, there's plenty of room for a mobile home and the septic systems.
Even if it's not a complete acre?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
But if it's allowed on every zone, in every zoning district we have now, other than AR, which to me did not make any sense. Somebody could have a 5-acre parcel of land that's zoned AR, and they still have to come get a special exception from the Board of Zoning Appeals. And it's also not allowed right now on R1, which is a 1-acre residential lot. But I saw the need. What we've been seeing an overwhelming amount of is the AR zone properties that are having to go before the BZA. And it's a waste of everybody's time.
Mayor, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
And I've asked this before. Does this mean that we have a group of people that they have homes built on AR lots? That's possible. They have single residential homes on still an AR lot. Has not been rezoned R1, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean we can allow a mobile home to go right between those two residential homes?
If it is an AR zone piece of property in a neighborhood where you have homes
I'd like to
between.
table this vote.
Okay. Then it's tabled.
You have to have a vote on the table.
Okay.
Motion is tabled.
Roll call.
Ms. Brown?
Do I need to second the motion?
You need a second.
Oh, sorry.
Second,
Okay.
myself.
Okay, table, Mr. Waters, second by Jen
Yep.
Winters.
No call for vote.
Okay. Ms. Brown? Mr. Cochran?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Singleton?
Aye.
Mr. Waters?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye. Okay, that is
It has
tabled.
been tabled.
Okay, moving on, item D, first reading of ordinance 09-25, a rezoning request from R1 to R3 for a property located at 5817 Drayton Street, TMS number 18800000122. This too received a no recommendation from council. Can you get us to GIS?
What's the parcel number?
So before I call for a vote, Eric, can you give us before I call for a motion, can you give us a quick, there it is, give us a quick setup on this, please, sir?
Yeah, this property, you see outlined in yellow, is owned by the same guy that owns the property behind it and to the right of it there. He owns both pieces of property, and he's interested in subdividing the front piece from the back piece so he can sell the front piece and keep the back piece for his own use. If it's allowed to be subdivided, then he's gonna have to present a plat showing an easement to get to the rear lot from Drayton Street. That's a condition of the approval of subdivision. So there will be a way to get to the lot that's, the back lot that's created, and it'll be maintained in ownership by the same person, so.
Okay, very good. So what is council's pleasure regarding ordinance 09-25, rezoning request from R1 to R3 at 5817 Drayton Street?
Move to be tabled.
We're gonna table everything tonight.
I think we need a little more information on it.
Is the person
So I
here?
would like to table
Is
it.
the person here?
He is, yeah. Okay, I need a second on the table.
Jim, second?
I'll second.
You were second.
Okay, call for a vote
Ms. Brown?
What am I voting
to
in?
table this.
Nay.
Mr. Cochran?
Nay.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Singleton?
Aye.
Mr. Waters?
Aye.
Mayor?
Nay.
Okay, so it is tabled.
3-3.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
It's tied.
That's the tie. Okay,
So-
that's tabled. Y'all are making me work tonight.
Boy. Okay.
I understand.
If we're finished talking about that, I just got a question. I mean, I'm a little confused. Is it the far right-hand side? Is that the road?
You see the road going between, that goes back to the,
I do.
okay. So it's the parcel, as you're looking at it, screen left, with a house on it.
And they want
That's where the roadway is
they want to
supposed to-
divide it so it can get into it.
You want me to?
Well, no, we've tabled it, so this is,
Okay.
we're moving on. Okay. First reading of ordinance 10-25, map amendment 2025-04, rezoning request from AR to PD, TMS number 22500000012 and 023. And again, before I move, I would like to know if the applicant has a presentation ready.
Yes, we do, Mr. Mayor.
Come on up and give us your name and
All right, thank you very much. Do you all have a copy of the presentation on file? Perfect, thank you.
introduce yourself.
Yes, sure, I will. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Brown, Councilmember Bucky Waters, Councilmember Cochran, Pastor Singleton, Councilmember Rogers. My name's Gary Lassane. So, my company, Group of Lassane, along with KHOV, first put the property under contract. I've done a lot of jobs over in Charleston County, Johns Island, and also a current one in James Island with KHOV. So I know these guys, they're local guys. I've got good relationships with them, and they stand by their word and they do what they say. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. There's a lot that's been thrown at us, you know, coming out. Everyone's got an opinion, and rightfully so, and I do respect your opinions. I'm what we like to call a binya as well. Multi-generations of Lassanes are from Charleston, South Carolina. So I do understand where you're coming from. What I would like to say, one thing that really did stand out to me that's kind of nagging a little bit is that I don't think that we can afford as a community, much less as a council, to diminish $140,000 that's going towards a fund for affordable housing. Being someone whose family has, you know, been blessed enough through the city of Charleston as well to receive grants and monies through affordable housing, to say that it's only $140,000 or it's only 1.7 acres of land that you're giving, I find very troubling. Because if we carry that type of an attitude as a community and as a people, we have no chance of helping one another. We have no chance of doing good things. So if we have an opportunity to utilize $140,000 or 1.7 acres of commercial land that the town of Ravenel could utilize this land and sell it, utilize those funds to go towards more housing, or the town of Ravenel could say, hey, you know what? We're gonna utilize this land for a park for kids. We're gonna utilize this land to ensure that we've got, you know, extra housing for, you know, emergency services, EMS, fire trucks, things of that sort. So whenever we have an opportunity to do good things, I think that we should really support being able to do those good things. And I just wanted to put that out there because as a society, it's hard for us to move forward and do good things for people when we diminish their contributions. 2024, we fell one vote shy of being able to move forward by council. This forced us back to the table, and we appreciate it. We appreciated the fact that council made the objections that they made because it forced us to kind of take a second, take a third, take a fourth look to try to come up with a better project. We believe that we have come up with a better project. We believe that we'll be able to show you what we have done. 2024, we had 85 lots. 2025, we've got 70 lots. That's an 18% reduction. Our minimum lot size in 2024 was 10,000 square feet, which was an issue with Councilman Cochran. We appreciate it and we understand. We took that minimum lot size to 12,500 square feet. Our average lot size is now 13,642 square feet. A 17% increase, which we do believe keeps more in line with more of a rural type feel where you've got more open space. Total open space, 2024 was 76 acres. We've got 81 acres of open space today. That's another 7% increase. Gross acreage per home, over 111 acres. We've got 70 homes. Quick math, we're talking about, you know, one house per 1.6 gross acres. No one's sitting on top of one another. Fewer lots, larger lots, open space. Everything in green, it's all open space, as well as dark green. Right here at the front is the 1.71 acres that, as part of our plan, we are proposing to give to the town of Ravenel, unencumbered. The town then chooses what the town wants to do with it. Town council would have that choice to decide how best to utilize that 1.71 acres of commercial land for its community and for its citizens. That's right there at the front of the road. As we come in, as you can tell, in the purple, these are our lots. Set it up like this so you can actually see the actual amount of kind of space here, you know, because the square boxes would be the house sites. So you've got larger lots, feels a lot more open, good character, it's not a big cluster. Can we continue moving forward, please? Once again, 2024, our commercial parcel was 1.54 acres. We were keeping that because at that point, we're like, hey, you know what? We could do some things, perhaps, you know, ourselves from a business point for the community. 2025, we thought twice about it. We decided we don't know what's best for the community. It would be better for us to donate this property to town council, to the town of Ravenel, for you all to decide what will be the best use of this 1.71 acres. Do we sell it? Do we develop it ourselves? Do we put a number of affordable houses, should you all choose, on that 1.71 acres? Or do we use it as a land bank? Because oftentimes, it's harder to go out and buy property than it is to build something on a piece of property that you already have. So if you've already got the land, it's a lot easier for you to go out and get additional funds to be able to build it out.
forgive me.
Yes, ma'am, you're
It's not
forgiven.
Jesus.
Yeah, I wish it was. He might land on my shoulder and help sway everybody in a good direction. So, once again, you know, the part of the development agreement is that that land will move over to the town. Water main connection, we had a 6-inch connection, it's now a 10-inch connection. If you guys know, that water is actually on the opposite side of the road. So we've got to bring water 10-inch wise all the way across the road. What that does is, now being 10 inches, it's a lot easier to facilitate extensions to future parcels in the future. You know, whether or not someone else has another piece of property and they're wanting to do something else with it, well, now the water main is actually on the opposite side of the road. You don't have to go through that expense to bring it there, because we're going through that expense. And buffer against adjoining properties, we've got 150 feet. Ordinance requires 15 feet buffer. So we're 10 times what the ordinance has required. You know, and these are ways that we're hoping can be seen that we have heard council, and we appreciate the input from the community as well, and we are doing our best to try to address all of these. Housing initiative, once again, this number's already come up. $2,000, 70 homes, that's $140,000. I would definitely say today that $140,000 will make a lot of families happy. I'm sure it won't just be a half of a house under you guys' guidance. I'm sure you'd be able to leverage that $140,000 where you'd have some people coming in here and actually saying how they actually benefited from what you all are doing. You all deciding to take a stand, you all deciding that development agreements are the best way for a town to ensure that people are going to do what they say that they're going to do, and that the town's actually going to get a benefit at the end of the day. If we can continue, please. Septic tanks. Once again, Mr. Cochran, I appreciate you. Pastor Singleton, I appreciate you. Councilman Brown, all of you councilmen, I do appreciate it. This has been a topic of conversation. This septic system here is basically a plant, a septic plant. It's a treatment system in itself. Each one of these engineered systems treat the water before they come out. Once that water is actually treated, you can run irrigation systems underground to plant beds in your yard and utilize that to irrigate those plant beds. This is not our septic system of, you know, our grandparents or something like that. Another big part with these septic systems, because people have mentioned, they fail. They do fail. They do. Our roofs fail if we don't maintain them. Our bodies fail if we don't maintain them. So that's nothing new. But what I would like to add is what we are doing, KHOV is doing to address that. KHOV is ensuring contractually through their HOA that every homeowner will maintain contractually a maintenance plan. This is being done contractually. If you come into this development, you have to sign a legal document stating that you will adhere to a maintenance plan. Once these systems are put in, they come with a 2-year maintenance right off the rip. So I think it's every 6 months they're maintained. We are adding an extra guarantee insurance on top of that, that once that's done, anyone that comes in there, we are going to guarantee that those systems are going to be maintained. That takes care of that aspect of maintenance, because it has to be done to ensure that we don't have issues. We can continue moving forward. All right, well, thank you. I think that's it right there. What I would like to add, Mr. Mayor, council members, is that our ask of you all today is that we be afforded significant light. Significant light for you all to be able to see that we have heard you. We have done what I would like to consider substantial adjustments to come up with a new plan, to come up with our new 2025 plan to show you that we have heard you, we've heard the citizens, and express that we would like to be a part of this community. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Okay. We need a motion to approve ordinance 2025, rezoning, I'm sorry, ordinance 1025, map amendment 2025-04, rezoning request from AR to PD. Can I get a motion?
I so move that we approve ordinance 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Can I get a second?
Corey Singleton, second.
Thank you, Ms. Singleton. Discussion.
Mayor, I'd like to say something.
Yes, sir.
I need to say something here from a personal experience with Dungannon. We're talking about Dungannon here. It's a small piece of the total amount of land, but the Hanahans own this, and this, honestly, the most pristine part of lower Charleston County that we have, shared between all the communities, especially Hollywood and Ravenel. My family moved out here in 1970, and that's when I first heard the name W.O. Hanahan. Now, even right now tonight, we are hearing lands about the W.O. Hanahan family. Unfortunately, it got split up in several places, but every one of us that have been here at Ravenel, if you don't know, I'm here to explain to you that Dungannon is like heaven in the middle of our development, up 162 and down 165. I personally leased land from Peter Hanahan, who's deceased, that I think the judge is helping you selling it for him. And I don't really understand that part of it, but when you go across this 3,000 plus acres of land, you've got already established a wildlife management area. If you would pull out that driveway, you would pull straight into where I used to live. I live right across the highway from this place. And I'm gonna tell y'all something now, you might laugh, but I always look forward to getting some time to go down in the woods behind my house and maybe hunt a deer. And we call it still hunting. And I would get up in a tree and I'd probably sit there and almost take a nap if I was lucky, but you see quite a few things, and you might get on a deer, for example. I don't do that anymore. But something I'll never forget is that around Thanksgiving, when things cool down, we like to get up in a tree. Anybody wants to hunt likes to get up in a tree and sit, okay? Well, I'd go up there and I'd tie a bell around my belly so I didn't fall asleep and fall out the tree. But it was almost like clockwork. I would be sitting there and I would hear this drove, like whatever you call, I imagine it was ducks. They would fly over and wake me up. It sounded like a plane that had cut its engine off. And I'm sure if anybody's sat in the woods before, you've had an opportunity to hear this. Well, my property was, across the highway from Dungannon. But it seemed like everything was Dungannon, right up here from where the roads fork, right on down maybe, I don't know how far it goes, but everything on the inside, everything on the interior, back behind Marvin's Meats, all that is Dungannon. And it's a very, very special place. This is how I experienced it. And now I live across from Dungannon on the Highway 17 side, as Cora does, the same. It's all basically the back side, the interior of the property. Hanahan's probably, if I'm not mistaken, were probably maybe one of the largest landowners in Charleston County. They've had their footprint all over this county. My situation here, quite honestly, is the town of Ravenel does not need the 1.74 acres. The town of Ravenel does not need the 70 septic tanks dropped right in the middle of this pristine land. I'm pro-development when it makes sense. I always ask, how does it benefit the town of Ravenel? Okay, the town of Ravenel will not benefit here. Let's talk about the $140,000. Let's say that you want to bring your grandson out there to that wildlife refuge or walk through the property, which is outstanding. It takes your breath away, okay? It's just like the way God made it, okay? It's got one little old house, and I think maybe it was a Hanahan family house, and then Peter had a little block house that he lived in, and Peter was a character now. But me and Butch Sires, and y'all know the name, the ones that are from around here, me and Butch Sires leased that property from Peter to hunt. And all we did was we hunted, you know, we still hunted it. We didn't take dogs in there, and dogs are fine. I would take my family somewhere on Sunday afternoons and maybe ride a motorcycle, or just kind of it is that beautiful. But what I'm saying here is, when I ask myself, what does the town of Ravenel benefit from this? I've got a discount to $140,000, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if you had an opportunity to go in that property and stand and just listen to the quiet, that $140,000 is not going to bring those deer back. It's not going to bring those ducks back to fly over. It's not going to bring those wood storks that the lady talked about. This is the kind of thing that we would be raping our property, not just from the town of Ravenel, but from the town of Hollywood, and everybody else in Charleston County might get an opportunity one day to walk through it. And I'm sure I'm talking to people right now within this development group that understand and agree exactly with what I'm saying. I'm just saying, you know, we don't need it. And I would implore my colleagues around this table to deny this, okay? But what I would like for us to do in addition to that, I would like for us to be very aggressive towards preserving this Dungannon property. That's what we need to do here. We don't need the 70 houses. We don't need the $140,000. We don't need the tractors. We don't need the roads. We don't need development in this piece of property. This is me personally. This is my opinion. I'm very passionate about it. Some of the best times of my life, okay, getting in the woods and just really listen to the quiet. You don't have to see anything. You don't have to hear anything. Just listen to the peacefulness and knowing that, you know, the animals are going to go, okay? You put a footprint of however many acres it is, 70 homes, cars, kids playing, running up and down the road. Those ducks aren't going to fly that way anymore, guys, okay? They're not going to do it. They're not going to come. The wood storks, I wasn't really completely aware of that, but I guarantee you if the wood storks are using that for their nesting, they're not going to come back there either. They're going to find another way to go, okay? Every bit of wildlife in this 3,000 something acres would be affected by this development in Dungannon. And not only that, it's going to be the property across the highway from Dungannon. It's going to be the property south of Dungannon. North of Dungannon is already gas stations and everything else. I just wish everybody could have the experience that I've had to be in these woods. And I'm going to tell you what, it would be a shame for us to have anything to do to develop any part of this property. And I'm just asking that y'all listen to what I have to say and maybe respect some of the personal information I've shared with y'all here tonight, okay? We can't do that to Dungannon. Never. Okay?
Thank
Never.
you, Mr. Waters.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Thank you.
Please. Any other comments?
I want to thank, I didn't realize I lived on part of that. I
It's
didn't
your
know that
backyard,
there is a
Cora.
peace and a serenity about it, but I didn't realize that's where we lived. I lived on that as the hill I go.
This development could be 1/4 the size, and it's still going to do the damage. You see what I'm saying? It's not against the development, just not here, not in Dungannon. We don't need it. We don't need anything that's coming to the town in dollar value.
Thank you. Any further comments?
One person, Councilman Waters' statement there, some of that I didn't know. I was never on Dungannon, or allowed to go on Dungannon, so I can't say all that stuff about what happened there. But in reference to the development itself, I think they have made extreme effort to kind of accommodate some of the agreement to preserve some of the nature of that area. It's 3,000 acres. That's supposed to be including the whole thing, if I understand it correctly. But we're only doing a little small section of that. And although, I don't have much money, but $140,000 to me is a lot of money because I don't have that. I don't have that kind of money. But for the benefit of the town and for the town use itself, with the 1.74 acres, the $2,000 per unit, so I think that's significant to me, for the town. Again, I'm rural and don't have a whole lot, I don't know a whole lot about it. With all this preservation stuff, other than what I've learned since I've been on council and so much comments and stuff that other people have come and made. But I think, if they do it correctly and probably like they say they are, then yes, it's a benefit to the town and the community itself. We're not taking away the whole 3,000 acres, so we still got a lot that's being preserved. I don't know what the future for the, or what the plans is for the other future for the property itself, but this little small piece, I don't think would be able to devastate that whole property.
Robert, it would devastate that whole property and properties around it.
May I add something, please?
No, but we're done. And
I'm done.
let everybody speak. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I really do want to make a point there, and not to challenge anyone, but if you will affect the rest of that property. You will affect migration of wildlife. You will affect what goes to the creeks. You will affect everything around this 3,000 acres. And, I mean, it'll just be a cancer to the 3,000 acres. To eventually, it'll all be ruined and destroyed. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of property. And I'm not gonna tell you when I went on it, because I probably shouldn't have been on it. But it's beautiful. And if you look, Rob, I mean, we need to look at this in the context of Ravenel. And if you, I mean, the financials, it's public knowledge. Look at what the town of Ravenel has and the bank. I mean, I'm not gonna try and belittle $140,000, but it's really not a lot of money when you look at our budget and what we do here and how much money we manage, okay? It won't go far. And I just think that we need to preserve it, and I just don't think we need to interfere, and I don't think we need to infect that Duncan property.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers. Any further comments? No further comments, we'll call for a vote.
Ms. Brown? Mr. Cochran?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Nay.
Ms. Singleton?
Aye.
Mr. Waters?
Nay.
Mayor?
Aye. That's a 3-3 vote. Fails. Okay, because that did not pass, ordinance 1125, the development agreement is moot. We move on to item 10, public comments.
Russell Warman. Go ahead, sorry. It's me again. I'm Kelly Cooper, 6049 Drayton Street, and also 5577 Highway 165. My apologies, I completely missed the planning and zoning regarding the property on Drayton Street where they're wanting to go from R1 to R3. It's completely lost on me why they're going to R3. But I do want to point out that it's owned by the same people. So if we give them R3 up front, I don't know, but it kind of goes in my mind that maybe R3 in the back would be a lot easier for them going forward. So please take that into consideration. I understand it when people want to sell their properties, but I don't understand why it needs to be R3 to be sold. So maybe that's just my ignorance, but I do agree that more information, at least for me, would be outstanding. And I just wanted to say that out loud. Just
Thank
to
you.
make sure that everybody was
Thank
on
you.
the same page. Thank you.
Russell Foreman. Eugene Santos.
I'm good.
Tom Hutto,
No further comment, thank you.
Mike Anderson.
Mike Anderson, 5840 Highway 165. First of all, I'd like to thank our council members for helping to preserve a pristine piece of property. The development of that type really doesn't fit in. And, you know, for years, the town of Ravenel was growing and growing and growing on AR1 or R1 developments, where Bucky's family moved right across the road from where I live. It's a nice development. It's 1 acre or larger lots. And I do not understand why we need to crowd people in R3 lots. And I just wanted to bring that point up. And it just doesn't fit our rural character out here. And nobody complained about these R1. There's one behind my property. And down Robinson Street, you know, and nobody was concerned when we were having that kind of growth. But all of a sudden now we're being inundated with R3 development, and it just does not fit our rural character. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you again. I'm Bill Hanahan, 522 West Walnut Drive, Charleston. I'm actually W.O. Hanahan III. My namesake is the one who bought the property. Mr. Waters is correct. It is about 3,000 acres total. Part of it has already been preserved. I'd just like to state that the remaining owners are in negotiation right now with conservation groups. And just wanted to allay anybody's fears about any other possible development plans. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Town council comments.
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, I want to thank the town for allowing me to take this class. And as I took this class on the 16th of this month, it really did open up some potential for me thinking about staying on this council. I've learned so much, and I want to thank this residential area, because as I listen to the resident, so much of what the class taught me is so true. We are fighting to preserve, as I told Brother Waters, I lived out here all my life, and I never knew that I lived on a land that was owned with the preservation. I just thought it was slave-free land that we worked and bought because we lived on the land. And this residential community, along with this class, has taught me that we as councilmen and persons and residents and people, we gotta start thinking about each other. The focus of the end of that class echoed what we learned and felt when we went to Hilton Head. Together is better. And until we come together and start, growth is gonna come. There were 6 towns that came and they spoke about how they had horse and buggy, and now they got transit bus pickup. We gotta come together as a council and resident and town and find out what's going on for the town. And like Brother Waters, I would love to see a park. I got a new grandbaby now that the devil is a liar. He doesn't need religion. I think he does need open space. And I would prefer having a park than to have a house. And we got 4 parks already. We use one for a dove, one for a lockup, and one for nothing, and one for nothing. Let us do better for ourselves and the town and the resident. And for my grandbaby, because he's gonna be living in Ravenel.
Thank you, Ms. Cora. Any further council comments?
I don't know if this is a question or comment, but I'm I'm concerned about the coffee and the mobile, the coffee and the taco mobile units that are out on Center Highway by Parks. If they'll,
We're addressing
looking
it.
into that, we're addressing that, okay, and it looks like over by the pump station that they built an outhouse. Is that what?
I haven't,
Just from the highway?
I haven't seen that.
Okay, I mean, it's got plastic on the side and it's
The-
just some kind of little.
The taco truck just showed up today, as far as I know. And we,
It was there.
It's been there a few days,
we,
several days.
we just visited it today, so.
But I mean, does DHEC get involved in those type of units or what is that?
Yeah, we're working on an ordinance to address food trucks.
That goes to planning and zoning
And ice cream trucks.
this week.
Okay, good, good. The other question I have is the, juice box place, the new place, real good looking building. That was approved, the best that I remember, for food and beverage, they would sell the food and beverage.
That's a boat,
Well, I see that now, that's my question.
it's a marine, it's always been a marine repair. The
boat-
name is misleading.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
A boat repair, and they're also, doing boat sales. They got one out on the front for sale, and they also got what I would call, and I learned this term here, a laydown lot. I mean, there must be at least 20 boats parked in there, there's no way you can be working on that many at one time. I'm just concerned about the appearance and what's going on there.
Okay. Call your planning and zoning director and voice your concerns to him, they can look into it.
Well, I'm voicing my concern to everyone right now, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, very good. Any further comments? I want to make one comment. Jason Moffett has put he started his program again with the roll-off dumpsters to help clean up different areas and assist folks that can't make it to the dump with heavy, cumbersome objects, products, et cetera. He's put one down on Archie's Drive, and he's catching a little bit of grief because folks want to throw their household trash in there, and that's not what it's for. I'm bringing it up to let you know this. Please let your constituents know that we, for over a year now, piggybacked on a county council agreement to where you can get curb service in the town of Ravenel for like $17 a month. So it's extremely inexpensive. So let your neighbors know, let your constituents know that can't make it to the convenience center over in Hollywood easily, that they can get that for $17 a month through the town's collaboration with the county. Trident Waste is the company. And if you call Trident Waste, tell them that you live in the town of Ravenel, you get that special rate. Okay? All right, no other comments. I call for a motion to adjourn.
I personally move that we adjourn.
Second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Waters. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.